Okay, this is a video for a troubleshooting maintenance on an aquasource toilet, and the problem I was having was this fill valve was not shutting off, and of course that leads to the water level rising up and then going into the overflow tube, and the toilet runs. That wastes a lot of water. Okay, so what I did on this was I rotated this about 1/8 of a turn, and then it came off. The blue cap will come off, it'll just pop off, but then the valve is underneath it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pause, and I will just show you the steps. I'm not going to show you doing it because I can't do it with one hand. Okay, I'll use the pause now. Okay, that's the first pause. I've rotated it. You should notice now I disconnected this. I also shut it off, otherwise the water will run out when you turn it. Okay, it's been turned about 1/8 of a turn now, and also I've pried on these little tabs just to pull off the blue part. Okay, the blue part does not screw on. It just kind of presses on. But I did rotate it the 45 degrees before popping it off because it seems to pop off easier that way, and I don't want to break anything. So now I have this off. Now this one I can do with one hand. This one now, after it's been rotated this amount, will come up. Okay? Now, I haven't figured out a way to remove this totally. I did try prying on these ears to remove this so I could turn it upside down and clean the little rubber washer. Okay, that's making the seal on this. Okay, now I didn't want to break it, so I didn't risk it. I even tried pressing in on two little ears here to see if I could get it to turn upside down. But in the end of the day, what I did was I just lifted it up, turned it around, so I could actually, by putting my head down, I could actually see under there. Okay, and there is a rubber washer. Of course, the phone can do a better job of seeing under than I did. What I did was I just cleaned it out with a toothbrush. I also used a little thing of vinegar. I submerged it in a little bowl of vinegar, and I used the toothbrush on it. And then finally, the other thing that I used was some of this plumber's grease. Okay, and I just worked it in to that washer. I did these things in sequence until the leak stopped. It didn't stop until I put this grease in it, and I'm not sure if the washer is worn and needs to be replaced. This whole unit can be replaced, maybe for $10 or so, but in this case, I just wanted to do this maintenance and see how much longer it might work. Previously, it did run a little bit, and I got it to stop running just by jiggling it, if you know what I mean, pushing down on it. The idea is to flush out possibly presumably some foreign material that might have got on that washer, or it could be something, who knows, some slime growing on the washer or something. I took the opportunity to clean out the tank. Now, this normally is above the water level, so it's not like it gets inundated with the tank water. It should only be fresh water, but even the fresh water might have something in it. And who knows what might end up getting into the tank inadvertently when you take the cover off and you're doing something down there, you're washing something. You know that the slime does grow inside the tank too, and it could be growing in there, so it could just be an issue of removing some slime on that thing. So for now, it seems to work. What I'll do is I'll hit the pause. I will put it back. I can probably actually push it back with one hand. The idea is on this one is it does rotate 90 degrees. So I pushed it down, not 90 degrees, 45 degrees. Then I'm turning it. That's the 45 degrees. Okay, that's the final position. I could push this here. Okay, and what I can show you is that this cap doesn't need to do that rotating part. I can now pop it on. Okay, snap it on. And I could have popped it off too, but I felt it easier to rotate it and then pop it off then. But I could probably have popped it off here too. Now this is probably good to go. I'll turn the water back on. Okay, it's actually, okay, hold on. It's over the fill valve, so flush it down. Okay, now, let's just see, there's no guarantee this will actually work because I know it's worked once, but that doesn't mean it's going to work the next time. Okay, Here the water is stopping, but it did kind of go over the water line. There is an adjustment, so I'll take this as a win, but it probably will need a new washer, and if there is a way to, actually remove it and replace the washer, I haven't got into that. I'd like to do that if I could. I'd rather do that than replace the whole thing and then just have to throw the other one out. So this is right now. It's working, but I'm going to do an adjustment on the water level. And also just confirm that it continues to work. Okay, thanks. Now I'll hit stop.